people coming and talking together, it seems old-fashioned to me. You know, it seems the way that you do things, that's worked over time, and that's what builds community. Restorative justice for us is bringing parts of the community together. And the repair of the harm, the making it right, is ultimately for that whole community. Then we have this program part that most often we use with the court referrals. That in fact a young person is an offender and there is a victim of whether that is physical harm or whether it's stealing something or whether it's you know, a damage to property, and that we have really schooled and educated our prosecutors, our judges about the really good thing about young people apologizing, being able to face talk with the person who they did harm to. Our work is to facilitate bringing the parties together that need to be a piece of this. RJ can be used in any sorts of community where there's conflict. That it is just it's a model for how to deal with conflict. I wouldn't even say confront it, I would just say, well, confront it and do something about it, right? Deflect it, redirect it is really the right word probably, and reconnect people. And however we define a community, whether community is a church or it's a neighborhood or it's a school or it's a group of friends, it's a board for an organization, that those are communities, and that, yeah, this same concept is a way to do business, way to do life. You can use the same restorative sort of functions to get people to talk and express their concerns and what they need, what needs to be made right so we can all get back on the same track. Sometimes in those situations, of course, it's interesting because it's not as clear as this is the person who's the offender because they got a ticket, you know, and they're charged in court. So sometimes it's a little less clear about who hurt who and where the harm is and what needs to be repaired. Oftentimes it's in multiple sorts of ways. But to me, the same concept of people talking together, apologizing, being willing to say, wow, I can see where you're coming from, and but having a safe environment to do that. I think that's what a restorative justice program or facilitator provides, is the safety of that environment. We had a couple, and of course this was kid-focused again, but not out of court, but a couple parents who had their young kids, 11-year-olds, who were just at each other at school and couldn't get along at school, and accusations, lots of sorts of things. School didn't know whether to really pay attention to it or ignore it or what. Parents were ready to, one set of parents was ready to press charges, another set was ready to start filing a suit. And they decided, you know, this is not the model we want to demonstrate for our kids. This is how you work things out. We want to talk about this and get together. But they felt uncomfortable doing that themselves. They settled on YouthZone and said, now there's the place that we think could help us sit down together and help our kids sit down together and talk through this and come up with a plan. And that was very successful. You change behavior by changing perception. When you change people's thinking, their behavior falls in line. Communities that we work with have been excited about it as they've learned about it and experienced it. They've had hesitations to begin with. It seems like something different. What is this exactly? We want to bring people back in connecting relationships with each other, relationships with systems, i.e. the school, with their town, with their police, those kinds of things that have been broken.